Okay, let's get something straight here. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. It's gonna be an incredible fight, I believe. Those people that are just hating, saying Jake Paul's gonna get knocked out first round, they're obviously either hating or they're not paying close enough attention like they should be. See, I'm convinced the fight, it should be exciting. It should be incredible. It should be entertaining and back and forth at the beginning. But when we dip off into them later rounds, Woodley should start, taking the fight. Pressuring Jake Paul. Which I think Jake Paul could get pressured in the first 2 rounds. Because, it just depends. Which Tyron Woodley are we going to see? The unmotivated one? Or the one that's going to go in for the kill? And if it's the second one, then, well, it could be another short fight. It really all depends on what Woodley wants to do. But I'm not discrediting Jake Paul. See, Jake Paul, there's no denying he's got skill. He's got talent. No matter if you like him or not, the kid's got talent. He's taking the shit seriously and he's constantly getting better. Each and every time. He's learning how to be a better boxer as time goes on, and he's constantly getting better as time goes on. All the sparring he's doing, it's helping him. He's definitely ready for this fight. But the only thing that's gonna get Jake Paul beat is not only the cockiness and the arrogance. Jake Paul might throw some hard shots, some combos, but Tyron Woodley, that ain't gonna faze him. He's been in the octagon with killers. That's not gonna faze him. What's gonna get Jake Paul beat is if he can't handle Woodley's power, and that's what we think is gonna happen. He can't handle Woodley's power. And that's where Woodley wins the fight. Because even all that boxing knowledge, it's like Jake Paul is going to have to be perfect for the whole damn fight. All it takes for Woodley is one shot, and boom, game over. Hell, Jake Paul could whip Tyron Woodley's ass for 5 whole rounds, and then in the 6th round, Tyron Woodley finally catches him and knocks him out. That's how it could go. So, Tyron Woodley, he may get embarrassed in the first couple rounds, depending on how good of a boxer Jake Paul really is now. But when it gets into I say probably the 4th or 5th round, fun time's going to be over, and Jake Paul's going to realize, damn, no matter what I throw at this dude, nothing's working, and Woodley's just going to go in for the kill. Well, hell, all the trash talk Jake Paul talked during the lead up to this fight and the press conferences, it could have just pissed and motivated Tyron Woodley. It could have pissed him off and motivated him to where it's woken him back up. This no longer is just a paycheck. This is like he's motivated. He's angry. He's ready to actually whoop some ass. He wants to actually be in there. And if that's the case, then Woodley could knock his ass out in the 1st or 2nd round, I believe. There's so many different ways this fight can go. But I feel like the only way Jake Paul can really win it is like if he actually survives 8 rounds and goes the distance. I could actually see, the judges screwing Tyron Woodley out of this just because boxing has so much riding on Jake Paul right now. He can't afford to see him fail. So if it goes to decision, I see the boxing judges giving it to Jake Paul. That's what I see. And think about it. If that happens, it can be like a controversial thing. Tyron Woodley can be like, I whooped his ass. I whooped his ass. I actually won the fight. And Jake Paul can be like, hey, you might have whooped my ass, but the judges said I won, so a win's a win. And that could lead up to more hype and anger and hostility and controversy leading into their rematch. I just hope they don't pull no, oh, it's a draw bullshit, because nobody wants to see that. Not in UFC or boxing. Nobody wants to see a draw. They don't pay money to see a draw. They pay money to see a winner. And, it's COVID. There ain't really been that much exciting stuff happening as of lately. So the fans need this. The judges don't need to rob them out of this. What I actually see happening is Jake Paul could get knocked out. And if it happens, Jake Paul's going to back out of that rematch. That's what I believe. His Tyron Woodley's already dangerous to begin with. But he's had Floyd Mayweather training him and teaching him how to be an even better boxer. Not just an excellent striker like he already is, but, an excellent boxer. So, yeah. That just raises the stakes even more. Now Woodley's even more dangerous. I'm not saying Jake Paul ain't dangerous, but look at the people Jake Paul has fought. Nobody has really given him a challenge. He ain't faced no diversity. Now look at the people Woodley has fought. This dude's been in there with killers and has beaten them. He was a champion. Not that bullshit championship they just decided to give Jake Paul. No. Woodley was an actual champion. He was one of the top 5 greatest welterweights of all time. This is somebody that I believe back then and even still now could beat Conor McGregor and knock him out. Heck, I believe Jake Paul has a good chance of beating Conor McGregor now. It looks like that'll be about the only thing to save Conor McGregor's career at this point. Is if they let him fight Jake Paul, which Dana White's not going to do. I heard Nate Diaz trilogy is in the works. Nate Diaz, he's still good, but he's not nowhere near as good as he used to be. He has definitely declined. But the thing is with Nate Diaz, it's kind of hard to judge because he hardly ever fights. Too busy running his mouth on Twitter. But the only thing we really have to go off of as of recent is the Masvidal fight, which he did get his ass kicked, and then the Leon Edwards fight. Now, Leon Edwards is a very explosive, good opponent. And Nate Diaz went the distance with him. Even clipped him in the last round. Could have finished him and won the fight. So, just off that strength alone, I think Nate Diaz could beat Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's getting finished and embarrassed while Nate Diaz is still putting up good fights against the top elite young talent. So, which I'm all for a Nate Diaz trilogy. That should have done been happen. Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, that should have done been happen. I ain't gonna give Conor and Dustin a trilogy. And then have a fourth fight waiting in the works. And still have yet to do the Diaz trilogy. We need to get that done. Wrap that up. Before one of these guys retires. Which I think people's finally wrote the blueprint on how to actually beat Conor McGregor. You either submit him or you break his leg. And don't think these other fighters ain't watching. McGregor's still one of the most popular guys in all of UFC. Loads of people are watching his fights. They're seeing how to beat Conor McGregor now. These guys, especially his rivals, they're going to use that shit against him. Nate Diaz is going to take that leg out. And if he can't succeed, he's just going to ground and pound him or submit him. That's what I see happening. I don't think he's going to stand up and bang all 3 to 5 rounds this time. Because if it goes to decision, we know the judge is going to say Conor McGregor wins. So he ain't going to let it go to decision this time. He's going to make a statement. And then, like, the only thing I really see next for Nate Diaz after that is a fight with Dustin Poirier. And if Conor wins, then I guess, put him in there again with Dustin Poirier and finish that off. Then after that, where does Conor go from there? Where does Nate Diaz go from there after they fight Dustin Poirier? Good question. I feel like, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if they do this Diaz-Conner trilogy fight and both of them just retire at the same time. Right off in the sunset. What's crazy is Nate Diaz he's fighting at 170 and he's talking about wanting to fight Dustin Poirier. Poirier needs to fight for the championship. Then he needs to take the Diaz fight. If offered to him. Because he already risked it once by not taking that title fight and choosing to fight Conor again. Twice, actually. But it really don't matter about the championship. To an extent, it matters. Because that means you're champion. You own that weight class. But think about it. Like, if most people, they're not going to pass up the chance to fight a great superstar like Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor. They're not going to, not even for a championship. So that's why I ask, how much do the championships even really mean at this point? And honestly, because I guarantee you, Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz both bring in more pay-per-view views and draws and money than the current lightweight champion, Charles Oliveira. Guarantee you. A lot of people probably still don't even know who the fuck Charles Oliveira is. Very interesting. But anyways, I gave my prediction on the Woodley and Jake Paul fight. Comment below what you think is going to happen. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, just feel free to tell me how y'all feel. And I'm out.